James Eugene Carrey was born on January 17, 1962, in Newmarket, Ontario, Canada. The youngest of 4 children, Jim was raised in a modest household by his father, Percy, an accountant and part-time saxophonist, and his mother, Kathleen, who struggled with chronic illness. From a young age, Jim displayed a restless, wild energy and a boundless imagination. He loved to perform for his family, twisting his face into wild contortions and mimicking celebrities, neighbors, and cartoon characters. But behind the humor was a growing awareness of the instability around him. When Jim was still a teenager, his father lost his job, plunging the family into financial hardship so severe that they ended up living out of a van. This period of homelessness and instability shaped Jim's worldview. Comedy wasn't just an outlet, it was survival. Jim dropped out of high school at 16 to work as a janitor to help his family make ends meet. But even while scrubbing floors, he dreamt of standing in front of an audience. Nights and weekends were spent performing at comedy clubs in Toronto, where his earliest routines were met with polite confusion. His style, loud, physical, and manic, wasn't for everyone, but he refused to be discouraged. He studied every great comedian, practiced in front of the mirror for hours, and gradually developed a routine that clicked with crowds. His impressions were so spot-on, and his facial elasticity so unreal, that he began to gain recognition. In the early 1980s, Carrey caught the attention of legendary comic Rodney Dangerfield, who invited him to open on his tour across the U.S. This was a crucial turning point. Jim moved to Los Angeles, where he started performing at the Comedy Store and began making connections in the entertainment industry. Small television roles followed, guest appearances on shows like The Duck Factory and film roles in Once Bitten, Earth Girls Are Easy, and Peggy Sue Got Married. Though these parts didn't bring him fame, they laid the groundwork. His big break came in 1990 when he was cast on In Living Color, a Fox sketch comedy show created by Keenan Ivory Wayans. Carrey was the only white cast member, but he quickly became one of the show's most beloved performers. His characters, including the grotesque Fire Marshal Bill and the flamboyant Vera de Milo, showcased his unhinged energy and physical genius. It was clear that Carrey wasn't like anyone else on TV. The show catapulted him into the public eye, and in 1994, Carrey exploded onto the big screen with Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. Critics were divided, but audiences went wild. The film's absurd humor, bizarre delivery, and quotable lines made it a massive hit. That same year, he starred in The Mask and Dumb and Dumber, both commercial smashes that cemented him as a box office sensation. Virtually overnight, Jim Carrey became one of the most recognizable and highest-paid actors in Hollywood. He had created an entirely new archetype for the modern comedic star, one that blended slapstick, surrealism, and unexpected emotional beats. In 1995, he took on the role of the Riddler in Batman Forever. Opposite Val Kilmer, Tommy Lee Jones, and Nicole Kidman, his portrayal was electric, chaotic, and very Carrey. Though the film divided critics, it proved that Carrey's name alone could sell tickets. He followed it up with Ace Ventura, When Nature Calls, and Liar Liar, both of which became massive commercial successes. Liar Liar, in particular, struck a chord because it blended his comedic antics with a touching story about a father reconnecting with his son. It showed that Carrey could walk the tightrope between silliness and sentiment with precision. But Jim Carrey wanted more. He didn't want to be pigeonholed as the funny guy. In 1998, he took a major risk with The Truman Show, playing a man whose entire life has been broadcast as a reality show without his knowledge. The film, directed by Peter Weir, was both a psychological drama and a commentary on media obsession. Carrey's performance was restrained, thoughtful, and layered. He earned critical acclaim, a Golden Globe, and a new level of respect from the film industry. It was the moment the world realized Jim Carrey wasn't just funny, he was talented. The following year, he dove even deeper into dramatic acting with Man on the Moon, portraying the enigmatic comedian Andy Kaufman. Carrey's transformation was so total that he remained in character throughout the shoot, often confounding cast and crew. He earned another Golden Globe for the role, and years later, the behind-the-scenes footage would become the Netflix documentary Jim and Andy, The Great Beyond, which revealed just how immersive and emotionally taxing the process had been for Carrey. It was a window into the psyche of an actor who didn't just want to play a role, he wanted to disappear into it. In the early 2000s, Carrey continued his streak of hits with Me, Myself and Irene, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, Bruce Almighty, and Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events. But perhaps his most critically acclaimed performance of that era came in 2004's Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Directed by Mitchell Gondry and written by Charlie Kaufman, the film cast Carrey as a quiet, introspective man trying to erase the memory of a failed relationship. The subtlety and depth of his performance shocked audiences and confirmed that he was not only capable of dramatic acting, he excelled at it. As Carrey's filmography expanded, so did his public persona. He became increasingly philosophical in interviews, speaking about consciousness, identity, and the nature of reality. Behind the scenes, he struggled with depression and often described his fame as both a blessing and a burden. His personal life was also tumultuous. He married twice, to Melissa Womer and later Lauren Holly, and had a daughter, Jane, but both marriages ended in divorce. He also had high-profile relationships, including one with Jenny McCarthy, the death of his former girlfriend, Catriona White, in 2015, and the ensuing legal battle brought intense media scrutiny and personal pain. By the 2010s, Carrey began stepping back from Hollywood. He appeared in fewer films, choosing roles more selectively. He took on parts in Yes Man, I Love You, Philip Morris, The Incredible Burt Wonderstone, and Kick-Ass 2, but his primary focus seemed to shift inward. Carrey turned to painting, becoming a prolific and passionate artist. His work was bold, colorful, and politically charged, especially during the Trump presidency. He frequently posted his artwork online, using it as a form of protest, reflection, and self-expression. Though not everyone agreed with his political views, no one could deny his talent and passion. In 2018, Carrey returned to television with Kidding, a dark dramedy about a children's television host dealing with personal trauma. The role echoed some of Carrey's real-life struggles and was met with critical acclaim. In 2020, he starred as Dr. Robotnik in Sonic the Hedgehog, which became one of the highest-grossing video game movies ever. The role allowed Carrey to tap into his classic zaniness, and audiences loved it. That same year, he portrayed Joe Biden on Saturday Night Live during the U.S. presidential election. While his impression was divisive, it proved that Carrey still had cultural relevance. In 2022, Carrey hinted at retirement from acting. He expressed that he had accomplished everything he set out to do and felt content walking away. He said he wanted to focus on painting, writing, and enjoying life. For many, the idea of Hollywood without Jim Carrey felt impossible. His presence had been so consistent, so impactful, but for Carrey, peace and authenticity mattered more than fame. Jim Carrey's story is more than a tale of comedic triumph. It's a saga of transformation. He took the pain and chaos of his youth and spun it into joy for millions. He broke the mold of what a comedic actor could be and constantly pushed the boundaries of performance. He made people laugh uncontrollably and then made them cry unexpectedly. He challenged not only the limits of his craft, but also the meaning of identity, truth, and fame. From the manic energy of Ace Ventura to the quiet sorrow of Joel in Eternal Sunshine, Carrey proved that he could be anything absurd, tragic, hopeful, enraged, philosophical, or heartbreakingly real. As an artist, Carrey never stopped evolving, whether on stage, on screen, or on canvas. He sought to connect with others in the most honest, unfiltered way possible. He was never afraid to be weird, never afraid to be vulnerable, and never afraid to challenge expectations. His legacy isn't just one of laughter, it's one of courage, creativity, and self-discovery. Jim Carrey didn't just perform characters, he lived them, deconstructed them, and through them, revealed the emotional truths that connect us all.